New this morning, the Pope shaking up the Catholic Church, it appears, once again with a major announcement. He wants to make it easier for married couples to be able to get an annulment. Starting December 8th, annulments are going to be free and must be completed within 45 days. That's a big change. He's eliminating a second review by clergy before a marriage can be nullified. And he's also giving bishops the ability to fast track, essentially, and grant them in certain circumstances if there's abuse or an extramarital affair.
Now, in the past, the Pope has expressed concern that annulments can drag on for years, they can cost a lot of money, and as a result, in some cases, be more available to the rich than the poor. And you know how much this Pope does care about the poor. Joining us now, CNN religion commentator Father Edward Beck and Rose Sweet, author of the Catholic Divorce Survival Guide. Father Beck, let me start with you. Let's put the nuts and bolts of this and as to what is changed right now. Essentially, Catholics who want to be part of the church, a full part of the church, but want to no longer continue the marriage they're in, they have an easier path to do both.
Right, and what it says is that the marriage was never validly contracted. There's still no such thing as divorce for the Catholic Church. What the annulment says is you did not have what was needed at the time you contracted the vow in order to do it. So the marriage is null and void, always has been, and the annulment says that's the verification of it.
And Rose, I mean, you wrote the Catholic Survival Guide to Divorce. Practically speaking, what changes? What do you think this changes?
Well, I actually don't think the changes are that sweeping. It makes a good news story, but for instance, right now, if you can't afford to pay the fee at your local tribunal, you don't have to. Their canon law already provides for that, and many dioceses already have waived the fees. So there's a lot to discuss here, and including the fact that this does not make it easier to get a divorce. It makes it easier to get an annulment.
Well, and you know, as Father Beck points out, divorce still isn't something that the church recognized here, but the Pope, as he's done in many cases, isn't radically changing, saying something that we disapproved of before we now approved of, but he's changing at least the tone a little bit, Father Beck. And even that, though, is something that is controversial within the church. Still a conservative organization. There's a cardinal, an American cardinal in Rome, who's actually putting out missives essentially saying, you know, the Pope can't go ahead and do this.
Right. Well, you know what's interesting? He's decentralizing it from Rome, and some bishops don't like that. They like it centered in Rome. So he's saying you don't have to appeal to the Vatican if you want an appeal. Go through the local diocese, and he's giving the bishops power to decide on their own in certain cases, not even going before a tribunal. So that's kind of taking the power of the tribunal, the power of Rome away and saying, look, you make the decisions as bishops. And some of them are saying, well, it's going to become too easy then. A bishop's not trained in canon law, so why should he have the ability to decide? Not all of them are trained in canon law. And so I think people are really upset that it seems to be lessening the stringent demands of it.
And Rose, what is your big takeaway? If you don't think this is a major announcement, and this is still a difficult process, if you will, what is the biggest takeaway that you would advise if you were writing part 2 now of your survival guide?
Well, you know, fear is motivating everybody. Some people are afraid that it's going to be too easy, and now those of us who are in marriages and we're working hard to keep it together are afraid maybe our spouse is going to take off, or if it's too easy, what happens? The other camp is, oh, don't make it too hard because I've been in a horrible situation and I want the church to see that I need to be free from this. So I would say what many people have said before us, including Jesus Christ, fear not, slow down, trust God, wait to see how this unfolds.
That's some good advice in watching what next moves this Pope will be making, and that will be one of the many topics that will be coming up as the Pope is heading to the United States for his big visit. Rose, it's great to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us, Father Beck. It's great to see you.
Thank
you so much.